Hello subscribers, it's time for Makgeolli Talk. Today is a recipe discussion. I have been trying to find more traditional recipes that I can follow, follow legitimate steps. So I'm not making up my own recipe. I really do want to follow a traditional recipe, but I also want to describe to you some of the problems I have in understanding the recipe. So the link to the recipe I'm trying to follow is below. It's called Bangmunju, and this was published by Rural Development Administration, and it's traditional knowledge. It should be good, and it's translated. It's a real translation. But here are some of the problems. So I'll show the text over on the side here. What I'm talking about, some of the problems I have in following this recipe. So first of all, I see in the English translation, in the ingredient list, there's Nuruk, but on the Korean side, they don't bother listing the Nuruk as an ingredient. So that's sort of strange. Another strange thing is that the green bean flour that's listed in the ingredients in both English and Korean here, it doesn't seem to be mentioned in the recipe itself in any of the steps. So that's something I don't know about. There's some maybe just a typo or a transcription error in the second step. Should say 10.8 liters of rice, if that's the units in the second step, not 11.7. It should be 10.8. And it brings up something else, is that in the ingredient list it says there's 10 units of rice. The first step uses 3 units. Second step uses 6 units. That's only 9 units. What about that other unit of rice? I have no idea. Okay. Another discrepancy. Well, something strange. The first 2 steps are to make juk and to make godubap. There's no time mentioned in between them. So usually, the recipes I have read, those are 2 distinct stages. There's some amount of time between them. This doesn't say. So I don't know if it's just in how it was transcribed. That detail was lost. I don't know. And another strange thing is how the step 4 is translated as putting glutinous rice on top of the yongsu. Yongsu's that woven strainer that fits right into the jar and strains out the changju for you sort of slowly. So that just seems like the wrong direction. It seems like the yongsu should be on top, should be on top, not the other way around. I don't know why it was translated that way. But why did I even choose to do this recipe? Well, it's a short number of steps. I have the ingredients. I learned something about the ingredients. Green bean flour. Green bean flour is nokdugaru. Nokdugaru. Okay, nokdu is literally green bean, and what that means are the little green beans, the mung beans. So it says mung bean flour. I think what I actually bought at the store is mung bean starch. I'm sure that's going to ferment because it's starch, but it might not have as interesting a flavor as taking the mung beans and soaking and grinding them myself. But I'm going to play it safe this time and use something that I'm absolutely sure is going to be part of the fermentation process. So what I have to do here is sort of adapt, fill in all the gaps, the missing things, I think the green bean flour should be with the juke, so I'm going to make the juke with the green bean flour and sweet rice flour, and I am going to have a gap 2 days before I make the godubap, so sort of forcing this into my standard schedule, and I'll try to adapt the proportions to sort of match how it's listed here. You know, it's a little unclear which water is counted. Are they counting the water that you use to make the juke or not? I can't tell. But I have the ingredients. It's a quick recipe. It says 4 to 5 days in a warm place. So it's one of those 1 week kind of recipes. Maybe I'll have good chongju out of it. That's what it says. So it's worth trying. But this is what I have to work with. So I'll see what I can do with this information. And if you have any comments how I could follow this recipe more closely as it's written, please let me know. I'd appreciate it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try to make some. I'm going to make some alcohol inspired by this recipe. I can't say that I can follow this recipe exactly, but I'll do what I can. I'll see how it turns out, and you'll see that in another video. But so that's what I'm doing. Stay tuned. See the results. Thanks for watching.